Today's show was brought to you by Reebok. Take your workout anywhere with the Nano X2 Adventure. Link in our description. Day one of the Rogue Invitational has come to a close, and although I thought Texas would be a little bit nicer when it comes to the weather, the competition floor was hot, hot, hot. It was fun too because we actually could see the events today, and the leaderboard had a ton of shifts throughout the whole day. Events were delayed a few hours because of inclement weather, which athletes we spoke with kind of appreciated after a 6:45 call time yesterday morning. To kick off the first day in Dell Diamond, ski bar. 20 bar muscle-ups, 40-32 cals on the ski erg, 80 GHG sit-ups, then back down with 40-32 cals back on the ski, and ending with 20 bar muscle-ups. But in Rogue Invitational fashion, the bar muscle-ups weren't your average size of just over 1 inch. They were a whopping 4 inches because everything is bigger in Texas. The supersized logs proved more than the women could handle, as not a single female athlete finished. New Zealand team athlete who took 6th at the Torian Pro led the pack early for the women's Heat 1. But veteran and OG Annie Thorisdottir pulled ahead by 30 reps on the second ski, approaching the final set of bar muscle-ups with just under 5 minutes left to complete the 20 reps. However, Carolyn Prevost pulled ahead of Annie as Annie failed her final rep, allowing Prevost to win the heat by just 1 rep. In women's heat 2, after the first set of bar muscle-ups, it was birthday girl Ariel Lowen advancing to the ski erg first, followed by Emma Lawson, Amanda Barnhart, and Cara Saunders. But the workout really started on the last set of bar muscle-ups, where we saw several no reps and failed attempts. While no female athlete technically finished the workout, Emma Lawson did complete all of the work and just needed a few more seconds to run through the finish line.
I have no words. I don't know. I just, I went for it. I got really uncomfortable a lot earlier than I was hoping to. So that was a little bit scary, but I mean, just kind of, when you have, you're at Rogue, you just kind of go for it.
As for the men, they didn't seem to struggle nearly as much as the women. Nonetheless, 9 guys still weren't able to finish. In Heat 1, Noah Olson was first off the bar muscle-ups. Bold moves not wearing a shirt on those wooden logs. Trailing close behind was Chandler Smith and Cole Sager on the GHGs, both just seconds behind Olson. But it was Smith who ultimately pulled ahead on the GHGs and kept his lead, taking the win for Heat 1. Men's Heat 2 was a triple threat between Pat Vellner, BKG, and Ricky Garrard on the front half of the event. While Vellner led, BKG and Garrard were within striking distance, but in Justin Medeiros fashion, he did what he does best and slowly crept into the mix. By the time the men got back to the bar muscle-ups, it was a race between Vellner and Medeiros. But as Vellner failed his 13th rep, the window opened wide for Medeiros, and he dove in to take the event win.
Man, it felt so good. I mean, just kind of ran my own race, and it's always good when that happens and it pays off at the end. Just put myself in a good position to have that workout winning opportunity at the end.
As we mentioned, the weather here in Texas has been crazy. I thought it was going to be hot, but you never know what to expect. It was raining today. Luckily, we got this zip up to make sure that I stay dry. I have a hat to put on my head. Reebok doing their thing, making sure that we're all set and ready. My favorite are just some of the classic tees. We love to see that logo, but also for all of the different weather and elements, we have the Nano X2 Adventure. Good for the rain, good for the dry, sunny weather, which we're hoping to see tomorrow. Everything that you need to find all of these goodies, plenty of different colors, here, there, everywhere. You can find those in the link in our description. Now, back to our recap show. On to event 3, back attack. 5-4-3-2-1 of back squats from the rack at 405, 275, and 25, 20, 15, 10, 5 of box jump overs. It's not common for us to see back squats from a rack programmed in an event like this, but I kind of like it. As for the athletes, maybe not so much. A failed rep was incredibly costly. If they dropped the bar, they were responsible to get it back on the rack. This happened for a handful of athletes, including yesterday's Event 1 winner, Danielle Brandon. But someone who did thrive in this event, Laura Horvath. The back squat was roughly 87% of her 1RM back squat, but she's a bigger fan of more reps at heavier weights.
Surprisingly not too heavy. It's like 315 probably, or something like that. Like, I'm not really great at 1 rep max. I'm better at like cycling heavy percentage.
When the men took the floor, the crop top rose to the top for Nick Matthew, giving him his first ever Rogue Invitational event win.
Could have pushed it a little faster by the end. I still had some juice left in the legs. it wasn't completely gone.
Wrapping up Friday's events was DT with a spin. 5 rounds of 15 cals on the Echo bike, followed by the standard 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks at 155, 105. The most elite athletes to perform normal DT would go unbroken each round, but with the addition of the Echo bike, nearly every athlete chose to break up the rounds and do so early. On the women's side, Laura Horvath almost went unbroken, which paid off and gave her her second event win of the day. Just 2 seconds behind her, though, was Alexis Raptis, who chose to break the barbell early and often. For the men, holy cow, was it a show! Pat Vellner, Justin Medeiros, and Sam Quant were all in a close race at the close of round 3. However, if you weren't watching Roman Khrennikov, you missed the entire event. He was the only athlete, both men and women, to stay unbroken throughout the whole thing, finishing his first 2 rounds in under 3 minutes. By round 4, Vellner took the lead, just for a moment though, because Khrennikov hanging onto that barbell was what led to his incredible finish, crossing the finish line, ripping off his shirt, and throwing it into the crowd.
And then in his mind, mentally, he was really ready to do unbroken, so his goal was to go unbroken. He was just thinking maybe my body won't be able to take it, but it did.
At the close of day 1, Gabriela Migala leads the women. Laura Horvath and Emma Lawson follow close behind with just 15 points separating first and third. While Migala holds the coveted first place spot, she's yet to win a single event, with her best placing of the day as third. As for Horvath, she's the only athlete on either side to win 2 of the 4 events. Looking at the men, Justin Medeiros leads the pack, followed by Roman Khrennikov and BKG. Medeiros and Khrennikov, however, are starting to pull ahead of the other men, as Medeiros leads by 50 points ahead of third place and Khrennikov 35 over third. At the close of Friday, Medeiros hasn't finished lower than 5th and Khrennikov lower than 7th. Tomorrow we have another full day of events with 3 on tap, including the log lift, where we expect to watch some of those athletes put up some big weights. For Morning Chalk Ups, I'm Lauren Kalil, and we'll see you next time.